The morning sun rose over the wide Arizona Valley, painting golden light across neighboring ranches and Apache lands. Ethan Walker guided his horse toward the river, where childhood memories waited beneath ancient cottonwood trees. Every trail reminded him of simpler days before responsibilities replaced carefree promises spoken by two innocent children together. Years earlier, Ethan and his Apache neighbor Ayana spent every summer exploring canyons, chasing wild horses and sharing impossible dreams. One evening, beneath countless stars, Ethan laughed and promised, "When we grow up, I'll marry you someday." Both children believed forever stretched endlessly before them, without fear or complicated realities ahead. Time carried them along different paths. Ethan inherited his late father's struggling ranch, while Ayana remained with her people, becoming respected for her wisdom, courage, and knowledge of healing traditions. Ethan quietly assumed childhood promises disappeared naturally. Surely Ayana had forgotten those innocent words long ago, just as seasons leave yesterday behind forever. One warm afternoon, Ethan rode toward the trading post carrying supplies. Outside the general store stood Ayana, confident and graceful, wearing traditional Apache clothing mixed with practical ranch attire. Smiling gently, she greeted him. "Rancher," she said warmly, "you promised to marry me one day." Ethan stood speechless before her unexpected reminder. Embarrassed laughter escaped Ethan before he apologized awkwardly. "We were children," he explained softly. "I thought you'd forget." Ayana's smile never disappeared. "Some promises become part of the heart," she answered calmly. "I never expected perfection. I simply remembered your honesty." Her quiet sincerity left Ethan questioning everything he believed about forgotten memories. Instead of feeling uncomfortable, Ethan invited Ayana to ride with him across the ranch. Together, they repaired broken fences, checked thirsty cattle, and admired blooming wildflowers covering distant hills. Every conversation felt surprisingly natural. They laughed exactly as they had years before, discovering friendship had patiently survived the passing seasons without resentment or bitterness. As evening approached, dark smoke rose beyond the northern ridge. Ethan immediately recognized danger. A wildfire, fueled by dry winds, raced toward neighboring ranches and Apache homes alike. Without hesitation, Ayana organized her people while Ethan gathered ranch hands. Old divisions disappeared because survival demanded courage, cooperation, and complete trust between everyone involved that night. Through exhausting hours, they dug fire breaks, carried water, rescued frightened livestock, and guided families towards safety. Ayana's calm leadership inspired everyone, while Ethan refused leaving anyone behind. Together, they finally stopped the flames before sunrise. Exhausted neighbors celebrated because countless homes survived through unity instead of fear or long-held differences between their communities. Days later, townspeople praised Ethan for saving the valley, but he immediately corrected them. "We survived because Ayana showed every one of us what real leadership looks like," he declared publicly. The unexpected respect silenced old prejudices. People who once kept their distance now welcomed Apache families as trusted neighbors and valued friends. That evening, Ethan and Ayana returned to the same cottonwood tree where childhood promises had first been spoken. Looking toward the glowing sunset, Ethan smiled thoughtfully. "Maybe I believed you'd forget because I was afraid remembering meant keeping my word." Ayana reached for his hand, wondering whether destiny had quietly been waiting all along. Ethan looked into Ayana's eyes and realized the promise no longer felt like childish imagination. It had quietly grown alongside them. "I was afraid," he admitted softly. "Not because of you, but because I thought our different worlds would never accept us together." Ayana gently squeezed his hand, understanding every unspoken fear inside. The following week, Ethan invited Apache elders and neighboring ranchers to share a meal beneath the old cottonwood trees. At first, Conversations remained cautious and formal. Gradually, stories replaced suspicion, laughter replaced silence, and generations discovered they shared similar hopes, hardships, and dreams, despite their different traditions and long histories together. Not everyone welcomed the growing friendship. A wealthy ranch owner named Charles Benton believed cooperation threatened his influence across the valley. He spread false rumors, claiming Ethan had abandoned his family's traditions. Hoping to divide both communities again, Charles encouraged fear instead of understanding, expecting old prejudices to return stronger than before once more. Rather than responding with anger, Ayanna invited Charles to witness the Apache harvest celebration. Ethan stood beside her throughout the gathering. Charles watched families sharing food, music, and generosity with complete strangers. The kindness challenged everything he believed. By evening's end, embarrassment replaced arrogance as he quietly apologized for judging people without truly knowing them. Months passed peacefully. Ranch workers and Apache families began helping one another during difficult seasons. When storms damaged homes, everyone rebuilt together. During harvest, neighbors shared food, regardless of background. Children played freely across the valley, growing up without the walls their parents had once accepted as ordinary parts of everyday life. One evening, Ethan returned to the cottonwood tree, carrying a small wooden box carved by his own hands. Inside rested a simple silver ring decorated with traditional Western engraving and an Apache-inspired turquoise stone. "This belongs to both our worlds," he said quietly. "Just like my heart belongs with you forever." Ayanna smiled through joyful tears before answering. "I never waited because of a childhood promise," she confessed. "I waited because every year showed me the man you were becoming. Your kindness kept that promise alive long before you remembered speaking those words beneath these branches so many years ago." Together, Ethan knelt beneath the ancient tree, where two children had once imagined impossible futures. "Ayanna," he said warmly, "will you marry me? Not because I promised long ago, but because I choose you today, tomorrow, and every day after." She nodded immediately before joyful tears escaped her smiling eyes beneath the golden sunset. Their wedding brought together ranchers, Apache families, travelers, and neighbors from every corner of the valley. Traditional Apache songs blended beautifully with Western fiddle music, creating a celebration unlike anyone had witnessed before. The joyful gathering became proof that respect and love could unite hearts where fear had once built lasting divisions. Years later, children often gathered beneath the same cottonwood tree, asking how their story began. Ethan always smiled before Ayanna answered first. "He thought I'd forget a promise," she laughed softly. Ethan squeezed her hand and replied, "Instead, she taught me that the promises worth keeping are the ones made from the heart."